Hello, UCAR. Peter Christensen here, coming to you from the CEO's desk. We're going to talk about Section 4 and specifically 4.2, special assessments. So this is where you can determine if there's a special assessment on the property, which party will be paying for it. So seller, it just has boxes, right? Seller, buyer, or split equally. And then you can actually put other. I don't know what you'd put there, but you can put other. There's a line for that. Okay, the trick is, and this comes up from time to time, I get this question of, okay, what about the assessment that's maybe been discussed, is in the works? At what point does it count under this section? Because maybe buyer has said, hey, seller will pay for the assessment, or it'll be split equally. And then there are meetings and an assessment's been discussed for 6 to 9 months, and the transfer of title takes place, and then it's approved at the next meeting, and buyer says, oh, hey, seller, you got to pay half this. And seller says, no, I don't have to pay half of it. All right, so what's the trick? Well, it says as approved by. And then it lists off a bunch of entities that could approve the assessment. But the trick is it has to be approved. So the way I would read it is not necessarily discussed or proposed, but it has to actually have been approved. I mean, this is why looking at the minutes of HOA meetings, that type of thing, can be really important. Because you may not have an assessment that's approved, but you may have a big assessment that's been discussed over the past, again, 6 to 9 months. And so it's in multiple minutes of the HOA meetings that this is coming, and maybe it's significant. And maybe you're buying a townhome and it has to do with, the roofs or the common area or whatever, and it's going to be a significant amount of money for each of the properties of the owners, but it hasn't been approved yet. So that might be something you want to address as a buyer, knowing, okay, if I buy into this property, it's going to cost me immediately a chunk of change for this assessment. Perhaps I want to negotiate that with the seller, but don't get lazy and fall and try to feel like you're protected by Section 4.2 if it hasn't been approved yet. So that's the key. You need something saying, yeah, no, it's been voted on, it's final. I would even argue if it's been voted on but they've delayed the payment for it, it's still been approved. And so that's something that should probably be disclosed, and something that should be investigated by the buyer. So hopefully you're finding out about it. And then and it should be covered by the section as long as it's been approved. Kind of doesn't matter when the money starts, but a seller's going to have a good counter argument for they're not going to, they're going to collect over 30 years or 20 years, small increments. I don't want to pay for half of it up front now. That's a point of negotiation in the contract. But be aware, it covers approved assessments. Hopefully that helps. Remember, this is not legal advice. This is legal information only. If you need specific legal advice, please contact your attorney. Thanks for tuning in.